Well, howdy. It's the Thriving Life with Jennifer Hough and what? Genie Zelda. Woot woot. Guess which one she is? It's not me.
Wow, Jen. Wow.
So I just wanted to say hi. Remember to like and subscribe today. Follow us like mad crazy. Share the conversation with friends. And I have a question for you today as we get started before we introduce Jeannie a little bit more is why is it that the magic doesn't happen all the time? Have you ever asked yourself that? Where is the consistency of the magic? And so often miracles happen, but those miracles, those unanticipated or better results happen when we're out of the way and we're in our presence. Like, what is it that we know our presence brings us those magical, awesome events? And then even though we know it, we let ourselves be taken out. I mean, we have examples over and over and over again. Seriously, what is that? So I am joined by the master of being in her presence, Dr. Genie. No, she's not a doctor. But Genie Zelda. Genie, welcome to the Thriving Life. I'm so happy that we are doing the next couple together.
So honored to be here with you. So honored.
Are you?
Yes, totally.
Yes, because yes. Yeah, because I'm Yoda.
Oh, absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
No, there are no gurus. All right. So today is about why presence matters. And one of the things that I thought that I would ask you, Jeannie, is what is it about presence that is so magical to you? Like what, even give an example of what's happened by being in your presence, like even recently.
It's interesting because I just came back from a really nice long walk with my dog this morning. And it's funny because this morning I woke up, I don't know if it was the full moon vibes, but my mind wouldn't stop. I woke up thinking of all the things that I still need to do, all the things that I haven't done yet, and all the things that could happen that might take me out since we're, traveling soon. And the first thing that I needed to do, well, the divine nudge that I got was, Jeannie, take a freaking walk. Just take a walk. And for me, taking that walk just put me back in my body. And it's sort of, you share many things. You shared with me when you say, expand your consciousness. And sometimes when I'm overwhelmed, that becomes a mental thing for me. But when I'm taking a walk, my consciousness just expands because I'm taking in nature. I'm taking in the sounds. I can't I can't think of anything except taking one step forward as I'm walking. So for me, presence is just so important because then it's like I get a chance to see how much I'm making everything mental. And knowing that when I'm walking in nature, it's like I'm just being given to by the universe. It's like I get a chance to see that, no, everything really is happening for me. It's all in divine timing, Jeannie. Get a grip. Just get a grip.
A friggin' grip. Well, it's like, as we're talking here, give us a big yes in the comments, by the way. Just a shout out saying, well, maybe not like what she just did, but, you can do whatever kind of yes that you want. But give us a little yes if you know that you are taken out by, the brain just starts going and overthinking and like, holy schmoly. So this morning, and I gotta say, the importance of presence for me is that once I see that miracles can become normal, I don't actually want to be in any other state. But the problem is that I judge myself for being out of my presence, which takes me out of my presence. So it's kind of a crazy cycle. We I mean, I get divisive for sure, meaning I'm like, okay, what can I do to be in my presence? But the very vibe of like, oh my God, what can I do to get back in my presence? That very vibe is literally never gonna get me to my presence. So, and put an amen in the chat if you know what we're talking about here. Now, Jeannie, okay. How do you know? Like, what defines presence? How do you know? What's your clue that you're in your presence? For me, it's time disappears. Like time just goes away and I get these, which is, I must be in my presence a lot because I have to set alarms all the time because time disappears a lot for me. So,
Notice that. I noticed that.
yes, I know you noticed that about it, but no judgment, right? No
No
judgment.
judgment.
So, and then the other thing is that I notice that I get ideas or I'll be in something and I'll just watch someone's name go across my little screen in my head and I'll go, okay, I'll just call them. And then I'll call them. I'll have the most cosmic call. And I love being there. How do you know you're there? And yeah, like what happens? What are the signs?
For me, when I know I'm in my presence, I am just feeling so incredibly expansive. Like there's just nothing that is triggering me. I'm feeling so neutral. I just feel like this open portal of possibilities. It's just like I'm having fun, which is so contradictory to, the world and how I've grown up and things like that. And I feel like you said, like these divine nudges come, I get these thoughts and, it's just random thoughts. Oh, go to Winners. And I'm thinking in my head, what? That doesn't make sense. I have to do work.
TJ Maxx, if you're in the States, by the way.
Or go to the thrift store or, call this person or call that person. And the most magical thing is that when I'm actually following that nudge, then I end up seeing somebody at the grocery store that I haven't seen in a while, or I call that person that popped up into my thoughts and we just have the most magical, expansive conversation. And also, when I'm feeling so in my presence, it's like I feel so creative. It's like anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's what comes up for me. And just feeling so much gratitude. I think that's it as well.
Well, and you just feel blessed. It's not like you're trying. It's like, oh my God, what I need to do is I need to be grateful for things.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna be in my presence. No, as soon as you start doing that, it's divisive. It's not a mental shift. But another thing that comes to mind is last night I was in my presence because I was listening to, as you know, I'm very curious on the adventure. So I love listening to other people's perspectives. Well, I love listening to channels. I love listening to really great, deep, juicy conversations. So recently I read Elizabeth Gilbert's book, and I can tell you right now, the time disappeared the entire time I was listening to it. I think it's called All the Way to the River. And if you have any addictive tendencies, I don't mean substances necessarily, but just behaviors, highly recommended. That is a very real book. Just be prepared. You got to put your seatbelt on. And the second thing is that last night, I wasn't listening to that book because I think I finished it the other night. I was listening to this dude about Christ consciousness. And let me just say, holy cowabungas, Batman. That was so juicy. And you might think, but Jennifer, you were listening to something like intellectual. Well, but it's in your presence when you're listening to intellectual stuff and you are curious, you're someone who's deeply curious, time disappears. You'll have like, I had so many creative thoughts. I had to break out my journal and start writing and go, oh, and that's connected to this, and this is connected to that, and everything's connected to everything. And it's like so cool. It's exactly how Mark Gungor talks about the female brain. Everything's connected to everything. So Jeannie, what, like, let's chat a little bit, because we have ways of getting back into our presence, because who doesn't want to be, I mean, you can type it in the chat. If you don't want to live in your presence where all the magic happens, just put, yeah, that's me. I don't want to live in my presence at all. I'd like to be fast asleep. Thank you very much. I doubt we're gonna get any. I think we're gonna get crickets on that one, but but anyways, so one of the things that I do, speaking of how I think we should give people some practical stuff around this, especially given what's going on in the world. I have three things. Three things. One is, don't watch the news unless it spurs your creativity. And for most people, it does not spur creativity. It takes you into the future, freaking out about what's going to happen, no matter which side of the aisle you're on, or if you're on no side of the aisle. So, news, that's a no no for me. So, anything that takes you into the future and makes you afraid or tries to prevent the past from happening, that's a no no. A yes, yes for me is this little technique where I imagine that everything that I worry about is in a book. And then I imagine before I go for my walk, I take the book and I put it on a shelf. So everything I'm worried about, or I actually write it down on a piece of paper. But once I write it down on a piece of paper, everything that I have to do or everything that, that is on my mind, put it on a piece of paper, turn it upside down, put it on your desk, and then go for your walk. And so I always imagine in my mind, it's like a book that I just put on a shelf, and literally it's on a shelf. So I don't get to read it right now. And I'm going to go for my walk while the book is on the shelf, which means I get to notice the beautiful, gold leaves and the breath on my face and all the stuff. So, and the third one is for presence, is sometimes I just need a distraction, and sometimes I put a comedian on, like really, really funny. Angela, I can't remember her last name. She's so freaking funny. And I just, Kathy Madigan, funny as heck. So, what about you, Jeannie? What do you do to kind of get out of the way of your presence? What do you do to kind of remind yourself and get back?
For
Or
me,
not to?
well, yeah, easier said than done, right? Especially with everything that's going on. And I know for myself, for me, taking a walk, like literally sometimes walking away or driving away from the density of my mind, of all the stuff that's on there. It's funny, we're sharing a brain cell because this morning before I took my walk, I wrote down every single thing that was on my mind. Like, I gotta check in my flight, I gotta, finish packing, or I gotta pack my
I
vitamins.
see you, Jeannie. I see you, man. I see you.
And I write everything down, like even like, remind Peter to put up the Christmas lights while I'm gone. And it's so easy to collect evidence of everything that needs to be done if I'm overwhelmed. So I write everything down, and then I put on the most amazing music. My favorite is like from Jeffrey Thompson on Spotify, and I take a walk, and then I come back and I look at that list, and it's like from that space of presence, it's now, okay, what deserves my energy today? And it's not judging it, because I'm in this place of, clarity and just feeling clear and presence. And then from there, it's like I see one or two things light up. and my
Yeah.
mind wants to engage, but it's like,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Universe has got me. Let's do this. The second thing is, for me, it's just putting on my favorite music. Sometimes if it's in the highest to stay home at the moment, I will just turn on my favorite dance music or
Mm.
most inspiring, you
Yeah.
know, really nice indie music, and that always just brings me back to my heart. And then I move and I shake off my body, like I literally just shake, right? And doing or I go on my rebounder because that helps me just to be able to move my body. Um, and the other thing really is just sometimes to reach out, because I know for myself as a, recovering lone wolf, wanting to have it all handled in my brain, sometimes being able to, reach out to a friend, a soul sister, soul family, it's like somebody who totally sees me beyond my personality and my
Yeah.
identity. It's like it just brings me back to, oh, there it is. There it is. And I'm going to add a fourth one. What I love is, and I know I had shared this with you a couple of days ago, it's like future activating even further down the line. You know, I love how powerful our future activations are for the day. But
Mhm.
recently it's sharing, when I seeing myself when I'm 100 years old, looking back, and I'm thinking, wow, did I really make those Christmas lights so damn important that I started getting so,
Stressing out about them.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then it puts me in this space of, again, feeling so incredibly blessed, full of gratitude, and puts things kind of in perspective for me, right? I'm like, wait a second.
Do
No,
you
that
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. Do you know that Adam and I, well, you probably do know this, have a fig tree in the corner of our living room that has permanent red lights on it. So it's Christmas every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that way we don't have to remember the lights.
Right.
So so anyways, the what I want everyone to hear, and just like, in this conversation, it's just so there's surviving. In survival, we wouldn't even be talking about this stuff, because in survival, you're just interested in how to get by the next 5 minutes. Then there's surviving better, and a lot of what we're talking about is surviving a lot better, because if we have all these things to put us back in our bodies and back in our hearts and back in love, and asking the question, how would love win right now? Those are all things that kind of redirect us. And then there's that third level, which is the embodiment of being in our presence. And sometimes you'll have days on end, like I have days on end, where I'm just in my presence. I mean, recently I've had, weeks where I'm in my presence. Especially when I'm away on, traveling. That's like a big way to put me in my presence, just like take me out of my every day. And that way I don't have to prevent anything. I don't have to fix anything. I'm just there in whatever the magic is of the moment, right? And you and I have always had that question, Jeannie. It's like, how are we so in our presence when we go away on retreat? And then like
Mhm.
bringing that back home as an embodied state. And so I say this because that's really the goal, guys. It's like at some point presence becomes so much more important than fighting your ego or fighting the world's ego or fighting whatever, that there's a choice that gets made where you're just not going to settle for anything less, and just let yourself kind of resonate with that right now. Community helps. Definitely doing programs that get you out of the universe's way helps. Certainly, being involved with teachings that have you understand the thriving operating helps. And guess what? We are offering today for you to join our free community. We have a paid community where we dive deep, but the free community, there is the program Get Out of Your Own Way. You could actually go there and take it out of your way if you want to. You can also, which I recommend, go and take our master classes. They're super good, or the flow codes, which we did recently. Those you will find on the free version of our community. And, you can always tag Jeannie or I in a question or in the community and just say hi. I mean, that's true too. You can do that in the community anytime. And for your first month, you are going to get our Awaken Conversations at no charge. So you can join, and we do Awaken Conversations, which is a conversation, channeled conversation for an hour and a half, all about life and you. And you can ask questions of me and all that kind of stuff. So please do come and play. You just just take your camera and do the QR code thing up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen right now. All right. And back to this juicy conversation. Jeannie, what are you got any final words for this idea of presence? Anything that comes to mind?
I think the one thing that just came up for me is, when I'm engaged in time, like if I'm thinking about the past, if I'm thinking about the future, if I'm thinking of the have to, shoulds, and musts, as you always say, it's like that takes me out of my presence. When I am making it mental, and I love that saying, the universe is gentle, not mental. And the more we are in the here and now, like just we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. It's like, 5 minutes ago didn't matter. 10 minutes from now doesn't matter. All there is just right now, this moment. It's like one step in front of the other. And that's where the presence happens.
Yeah. And you know me, I'm like, the more I understand physics, the more it just doesn't make sense to my brain. So I love understanding the physics of it so that my brain just goes, well, why would I live anywhere else? So for me, the final word on this is actually our reality is only happening right now. And so there actually is no past or future ever. There's perceptions and the illusion of what you can make up in your mind about what the future could be. There's perceptions and what you can make up in the past about what has happened. But those are both perceptions. And if we're in this now, if I'm in this now, then I don't really care about the future or the past because I know that everything that comes to me is going to serve the reason why I'm alive. Whereas when I'm in the future or the past, it's going to serve keeping that scary future or that awful past alive. So even if the future you've created is great, the access to the future that you've created in your mind that's great can only occur in the present. So these things don't exist because everything is created from the now. So
Mm-hmm.
that is what really drives it home for me. The laws of physics that say there's nothing else but presence.
Amen.
So, right?
Amen. Aho. Enough said.
Enough
Word up.
said. Enough said. Word. So guys, thank you for being a part of the Thriving Life today. Make sure you check out the free community where you can come and play. Make sure you like us and follow us and do all the things and make comments and share it with your friends. And people always say on podcasts and on shows and on YouTube all of the things I just said, but it actually really does matter that you do that because first and foremost, we go back and look and we could see all your comments. We can see like it is a connection thing too. So, and we're all here to build bridges to help humanity go towards that imagined future that we love. right? So share it and pass it on. All right, you guys, this is Jennifer Huff and
Genie Zelda.
signing off for the Thriving Life today. And thank you to Mr. Adam Lamb for all the awesome work in the background.